Hey guys, in this video we are continuing with the heat transfer Excel programming. In our last video, we kind of finished off with a few error messages, even though we are very close. So to recap, we now have all of our equations properly in place. However, because we have some error messages, the finished product is not going to work since it's saying, well, I don't know what this is supposed to be. It's an error, so I can't do the summation that I need to. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of logic to get rid of this problem. So in this example, I just threw in some random numbers. Don't think that these mean anything per se. But when we look at this, we find that, hey, in this example, we're only using one median. Only one of the 5 medians have layers associated with them. So the other 4 that don't have any layers associated with them, they're given mean divided by 0. We want the program to only execute these u values when we have something here. So this one I want to include u here, but I don't want these u's here until I have layers on the respective cells. So we're going to add an if-then statement. So what we can do is I'm going to go to K29 and I'm going to delete what I have. Remember, K29 was the summation of all the R values above it. And I'm going to say if. And we can say if the sum of all these, close parenthesis, equals 0. Remember, if-thens work this way. First, you give it a logic test, meaning you give it an equation or saying this equals this. So if this equals 0, comma, then what? So if all these are equal to 0, then I don't want it to give me anything. So if it's all equal to 0, then I'm going to actually say, don't show me anything. And I'm going to do that by doing quotation, quotation, because that'll just display what are in between the quotations. And if I have quotation, quotation, then nothing will be in between. So then, comma, value if false. So now it's saying, if the sum of all these cells is not equal to 0, then what? Well, if it's not equal to 0, then I actually want you to show me what the sum of those cells are. I had a little bit of a typo. Oh, I just missed a second parenthesis, but it automatically did it for me. Okay, so now notice how nothing is shown here. That's because, well, this does equal 0. So if the sum of these cells is equal to 0, then I told it to display that. So now I'm going to add logic to this one as well. And I'm going to say equals if. So if this cell right here equals, now I'm not going to say equals 0, because technically the cell at K29 does not equal 0. It equals quotation, quotation. So if K29 equals quotation, quotation, comma, then what? So if this is blank, then we're not ready to do it yet. So if this is blank, I'm going to say this is equal to quotation, quotation. And if it is not quotation, quotation, meaning there's a number there, then I want it to actually execute. So I will do 1 divided by K29. And now it's blank. So then, if we look at it, let's type in random values, 2 and 1, boom. Now because this is no longer 0, the sum of them is no longer 0, this executes. And now because this is executing, this will now execute over here. So you can basically copy that logic down. So I'm gonna, let's see if we can copy, just paste everything and see if it will let me do that. Like paste right over these. I think so. We'll just have to retype in the median number, but that was easier that way. Okay. Almost done. So the last step we have to do is we find that this is still not giving us a value. Really, we wanted to say 0 here. If this is going on, I want it to tell me 0. So we're going to have to just add a little bit more logic. So we have to tell the program, okay, if U is blank, then don't give me an error message. Give me, say, 0 or nothing. So I'm going to just tell it, if this cell is equal to, not 0, remember there's a difference between 0 and quotation quotation. So if D8 is quotation quotation, then give me 0. If it's not quotation quotation, meaning it's a number, then do the multiplication. And now it'll give me 0. And now I can copy that logic down. And now my Q for this one is 375. And I can go ahead and let me give it a fake area right here and just say this is, I don't know, 6 and 3. And now I should have values for here and here. And then every other one, it's 0. So we are done. A little bit of more advanced programming in this one. Well, advanced for where we are, not advanced compared to what the IT Academy would say. But now we have a fully working program. Remember, when you are done with an example, only delete things in yellow cells, because if you delete the ones in the other cells, we will have issues. One small thing is I forgot to add the logic to the first one. So if this cell equals quotation quotation, then that. I don't think I added the logic to the first one. But besides that, we are good to go. I'm just going to quickly finish this up. Forgot this quotation right here. And then if the previous cell equals quotation quotation, then quotation quotation. If it's not, then execute that. And then this needs to be finished up. There we go. Or I guess to keep the logic, we'll make it equal to 0. Okay, sorry for that little last delay. I just realized that now, and I'm not going back and editing that out.